the most powerful workshop I've ever given, with the most interesting and provocative results I've ever seen. Hi, I'm Sean from Mind Possible. I wanted to let you know about a special workshop I gave for the Applied Precognition Project a couple of weeks ago. It was in two parts. We did a morning session and an afternoon session. And in a little bit, I'll let you know how you can watch the entire sessions. But in these workshops, I taught people how to combine remote viewing with mind sight, also known as seeing blindfolded. There are groups of people out there training specifically in remote viewing, and others training specifically in putting on a blindfold and seeing through the blindfold. Those people can read, they can play games, they can perceive colors and objects. The people who focus on remote viewing can see people, places, and events at a distance in space and time, in the future and the past. And one of my personal desires is to introduce these people to each other and help them cross-train, to train in both abilities. And when I gave this workshop, that's exactly what I did. I trained the remote viewers into using some of the skills from seeing blindfolded or mind sight to accentuate their abilities. At the end of the first workshop that you'll have access to, you'll see people training in mind sight to perceive the color blue and the color red. And if you have, say, 3 sheets of red paper, 3 sheets of blue paper at home, and a blindfold, you could participate in the whole workshop as we go along and actually participate by working the target coordinate that I give them at the end. And then you can join them in seeing what the result was, what you were meant to perceive with the remote viewing, and see if doing the mind sight training improved your ability. So you can participate with this recording of the workshop. You'll see in the recording that many people did very well, that many of them picked up on some of the main colors of the target location. It was an outbounder target, which meant that this was a place where I was present, that they were trying to perceive with their mind across time and space, and they did very well. In the second workshop that afternoon, I taught them how to use the combination of remote viewing and mind sight to see inside of a box and see what the object was inside of it. And of course, this is not like Hollywood. This is not what you see in the movies, and it's definitely not what you see as a magic trick on stage in Las Vegas. People saw aspects of the object that was placed inside of a box. They didn't see exactly what it was, but some people came pretty close. And you'll hear them talk about their experience in these recordings. The other task I set up for them was that I cut a number, a specific number, out of a piece of paper of a particular color, and I hid it behind a barrier, and it was stuck to the wall. So it was stuck to the wall, and there was a barrier in front of it, and everybody was participating over Zoom. So from their Zoom screen, they couldn't see through the barrier or see what was stuck to the wall behind it. But there was a number there, cut out of craft paper of a particular color. And a large number of the participants knew what number it was. They were able to see it. Some of them also accurately described what color that number was. And the opposite also happened, where some of them knew the color of the number. They could perceive the color because of the mind sight training we had done all day. They knew the color, but they had a harder time discerning what the number was. So different kinds of experiences happened, but some people got both the color and the number. When you watch the presentation for the afternoon session, it won't show everybody who is participating because it's a recording of Zoom. So you'll only see about a third of the people who are actually participating. So there are a lot of people there who had great results, but you won't see them when you watch that presentation because of the way it's recorded. Still, this is really interesting work. And the reason I'm making this video is because I think it's one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful workshop I've ever given, with the most interesting and provocative results I've ever seen from people who only put in about an hour or two of training with 2 workshops combined. So this is really interesting stuff. I haven't seen anybody else present something like this, at least publicly. If you want to see what happened during both workshops, you can get access through the Applied Precognition Project. You can get access to the other presenters from that weekend. There was someone the day before me and people the day after me. They all did wonderful things. I don't have enough time to talk about the work they did, but you'll have the option of accessing the entire event that I was a part of, or just the one day when I gave my 2 workshops. It's up to you. But even if you decide not to watch these workshops, I just wanted to say this much to you, that this is happening. People are training in both abilities. If you don't want to access the workshops, but you want other ways to train in both abilities, I have my book, Signal and Noise, that is great for beginners and experienced people in remote viewing. And I have my book, Mindsight, which is also a complete training system for mindsight, seeing blindfolded, that will take you over a 5-month course of training by yourself. You don't need a partner to do this training using my book. You could also learn Mindsight by visiting 2 Facebook groups, one led by Rob Freeman and the other one by his training partner, Wendy Gallant. And their links are in the description to this YouTube video down below. If you have no idea what Mindsight is, you might just start off by visiting their Facebook groups, and you see them training other people on screen, and you get to know what that's about. So if you're a remote viewer, I hope this makes you more interested to learn about Mindsight. And if you're a Mindsight or a blindfolded practitioner, I hope this makes you more curious about learning about remote viewing, because I think at the basis, it's all the same thing. It's all a form of clairvoyance. What we're perceiving, that's where the nuance is. How we do it, that's where the nuance is. But it's all a human ability, and we all have it to one degree or the other. And a lot of it depends on how much we train and how much optimism we have and interest in it. So I hope you find this information useful, if not at least slightly entertaining, and take care. Bye-bye.